Yeah, man. We back at it. Another one for the week. I had come in a little early because I wanted to get some things squared away. Um, I was all right, so I was listening to some pods, and I wanted to go ahead and end the week, and I was gonna talk about a certain type of level of pressure, but in the end, it buckles all the way back down to the kids. It comes right back to the kids. And the reason I changed the title and put the pressure on the kids because, man, as a child, man, especially, I mean, I'm just going to do some personal stuff first. As a child with me, like, man, it was rough and rough. See, you would always hear people talk about them being able to, do their thing, you know, got the best of everything, celebrate it. I mean, for instance, right now, my kids got a good life. My boys, they pretty much on par with a lot of stuff in which most people, kind of, my boys got dirt bikes. How many kids got dirt bikes? You know what I'm saying? Like, my dream was even just getting a bike, let alone a dirt bike. My dream was just getting a bike. My kids got four wheelers. I gotta fix some stuff happened to them, but four wheelers and dirt bikes. The biggest accomplishment for me was to get a bike. I'm talking about. I think I got a bike. Was it later on in life? Got a little older. Got a bike, bruh. Skates. Going to the skating ring. I think we got a pair of skates before we got bikes. You know what I'm saying? Remote control cars and stuff like that. Like PlayStation. That's one of the biggest things. Like I admit, I bought them PlayStations and stuff like that for me, and the kids play with them and stuff. But when it comes down to it, I think that makes a creative side for a kid to have games, like PlayStation, Xbox, whatever, because it triggers the side of their creativity, especially to the mission games that they play, sport games, all that, because you got to be creative, and I like that Oculus thing that my son got. I be on it, I don't be on as much as him. This guy be on that thing all the time. But the thing about it is, like, he loved that thing, having fun, talking to people, and the crazy part, like I say, when it come back to the pressure, I didn't get that lifestyle they got. It's only right I give it to them because I wanted that lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? Like the pressure of you being a better parent and also providing your child something different, man. It's it's crazy, man. Um, I heard this guy earlier was quick little thing about Future. Baby mama went off on him about him not coming to the kids, calling the kid or coming to the birthday party or whatever, calling the kid. It was crazy, going off on Future. D-Love, what's going on? But the craziness about it was when when somebody in the comments up under, I guess the video, I guess Shade Room, because I seen it off another pod, and the guy was like, well, these women, they do this and do that, and then they go run after a fool, which is a stepdad, to help take care of the child. Well, Jesus was going on. And my thing, I didn't like that. I'm like, man, that didn't sit right with me. Not only because I'm a stepdad, but you basically saying because a man wants to be or do what men do is handle responsibilities, you know, you take on that position to be with that woman, you got to handle all responsibilities that come with that woman. What's going on, Go P? E Taylor, what's going on? But when you handle those responsibilities as a man, that's just it. You know what I'm saying? It, it's different levels to people. There some guys don't want to deal with the pressure of being a stepfather. Because they're not gonna get that validation and all this other stuff that they looking for from that kid. Don't take that dive. I don't knock a man. You know, even dudes who say that they have certain standards for women. I don't knock men for that. Men, who say they don't want to be a stepfather and they reason, I don't knock them for that. But to knock another man that want to be a stepfather, like I say, that kind of hits me a little different because I ain't say feelings now, but it hit a little different because you basically telling somebody because you trying to get to a level of being a better man than they dad was, even though don't get that praise or whatever. That's you a sucker. All right, man. That's that guy. If that guy wants to go out there and lay on that railroad tracks, why you mad? You not gonna do it. That's what I don't understand, man. Like when it come down to it, if dudes want to be the fool, let them be the fool. Why you gotta clown them for being the fool? Let them be the fool. If you think they're a fool, cool. Let them be the fool. That's what I don't understand. And the pressure, is already on him heavy. For taking on the responsibility of somebody else's kid, and trying to live up to an expectation of being a better person, of being a better man. Then you got somebody running around saying, man, you this, man, you a sucker, man, you take somebody care of somebody else's kid. Hey, let them do their thing the way they want to do. That's like I was talking to somebody yesterday, and my thing of it was I don't knock it, but I couldn't date a script because scrippers already got that, you know, stereotype. Like I'm like, if a dude do it, that's on him. That's cool. But I just couldn't do it. You know what I'm saying? It's not to the point where, man, all dudes who date scrippers, they suckers, man. They chumps, they this and they that. Like, man, nah. I mean, I don't rock like that. I can't stereotype every single person that steps in that circle because I'm not gonna step in that circle. You know what I'm saying? That's what I look at with a lot of people who be running down on these baby daddies and running down on these stepfathers. We trying to clown them. You know what I'm saying? Because the baby daddies they get pushed in that same circle too. You know, the dudes will run off on them talking about how they suck as men and this all another little story. But basically, man, it's crazy because my thing is when it come down to like I say, the kid, they get all the backlash. They had I think it was Cruise Season. There was a chick on there, she was messing with the dude. Say the dude, sex was trash. but she was still fooling with her baby daddy, and she had 3 kids. And then her baby daddy had 2 other chicks pregnant. I guess with I think that's how the story went. Even either way it goes, it's still messed up. But shit, the dude had like 2 or 3 kids pregnant. I mean, 2 or 3 women pregnant around the same time that messing with her. So ultimately, dude got like 2 or 3 chicks pregnant. She already got 2 kids, but she want to still deal with the baby daddy versus the guy that's the sex game trash, the inches, and then he want to marry her. And just like the guys were saying, like that pushes trauma on those kids. You got a good man that's out here trying to do the right thing, you know, and the kids love him, good, dude, and then you just basically run them in the ground like crazy, man, crazy. But yeah, I mean, it's just a sad, sad thing, man. Like the kids get the bulk of all this stuff. In the end, they the ones that get left behind. You know, um, what's the dude? Gold P always talk about the iceberg. Henry Upshaw. Henry Upshaw was the dude. You know, yeah. I mean, you can't force someone to be a parent, but at the same time, you got to look at this. You know, if that's coming from the dad point. If the dad don't want to be a dad, cool. He out the picture. He gone. The woman not with him anyway. Now let's go to the stepdad. Stepdad, he got responsibilities. He's with that woman. So until the responsibilities are on him to step up to be a father. Otherwise, don't even take that. Don't even take that trip. Don't even cross that line. Don't sign on the dotted line. That's the thing. You know, and I knew that going into the situation with my wife. If I ain't want none of them little raggedy kids, them little bust little whatever kids, I ain't dealing with the woman. Because when it come down to it, it's just like they say the game, you gotta respect or check it. So if I'm dealing with this woman, I gotta automatically all the way 100 deal with the kid too. I got to. I ain't got no choice. Otherwise, I don't need to be in a relationship with that woman. I can't fool with that woman like that. I don't need to be in a relationship with her if I can't fool with her kids too. You know what I'm saying? I done heard dudes say that. Man, I'm about to smash this chick, fooling with this chick. She got a kid and she on her own. You know what I'm saying? We get married. He got a daddy. He need to go holler at him. I ain't buying that little dude nothing. I ain't doing nothing for that kid. That ain't mine. I'm waiting on my kid to come. Then when your kid come, you know what I'm saying? You trying to go to Disney World. Hey, you gonna pay for your son? You Christmas time come. Your kid get all this stuff. The other kid don't get that. Nah, man. We can't do that. I mean, the balance of things, we can't do that. Ain't no way. Nah, we can't do that. I mean, respectfully, when you young, you see how people play people. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I wouldn't even want to get played like that. You know what I'm saying? To a point where scroll up. I'm gonna put these kids in a bad situation. You know, due to me being I'm just gonna say it, being an asshole, and just in general, I hear a lot of dudes say that it's okay for that. And my thing is keep saying, why be with that woman? I I never understand that, bro. If you don't want no dealings with no other man kid, why be with that woman? Just like I stand on this. For all the guys that talk junk about these women and say, you a smash a freak, but you won't marry her. Essentially, you giving her worth. For all the dudes that talk junk about women, but then turn around right back around and smash them, you giving them some type of worth. Because what I always said, I mean, what is I always said, guys, with the weave situation. If another guy go and smash her, she has some value. She said, well, this guy like it. So I mean, that's a whole nother conversation. But you know, yeah. But like we was talking about with Henry Upshaw, that Henry Upshaw connection, go P, you right. You always speak on that. You always speak on the Henry Upshaw connection, and that be the thing, man. That dude, Iceberg said, man, his mom broke that dude down cold. To what he said, he think he died of a broken heart. And that is some real stuff right there, man. Cause I mean, let's don't get it twisted. Your kids are actually out here looking at these relationships. And you think if going crazy on this guy, you think your child is going to just sit there and say, man, my mom the best mom. Nope. Nah, mom ain't doing that. A lot of dudes, man. I done talked to my homeboys and throughout. They be like, man, I know my mom ain't shit. I'm gonna cut the cussing because I'm trying to get everything set up. But man, I know my mom ain't nothing, man. What she did when I was young, the type of guy she was fooling with, influence, man, I know she ain't. It's the same thing for their dad, man. Dad was never there. Dad did like I'm gonna call it a spade a spade. If a man is out here not take care and handle his responsibilities, it is it. You're a bum. You're a bum. You know what I'm saying? Telling Stewart what's going on. Go P conscious conscious morals what's going on. That's everybody. But I mean, it's literally crazy with the situation to where either you're gonna be in this situation because, like I said, this my level of focus is on the kid. Scratch the mom, whatever. My level of focus is on the kid because do you know how bad it is when a child grow up seeking and yearning for that male connection with a man, whether it be uncle, stepdad, or whomever, and dude, they'll treat you like trash. What you think's gonna happen when that child go up? That child's gonna do the same thing to that next child because that's like a common thing. Well, my stepdad treated me like trash, so I'm gonna treat my stepson like trash. I mean, it's an inherent thing. Most women nowadays have kids. My thing is, cool. The standard is you don't want a woman with kids, then cool. Don't deal with a woman with kids. I don't get that with people. If you have a standard, keep that standard. Like you want to invest in something and don't get a return. Like the biggest thing that the kids face, dad after I mean, my neighbor when I stayed in apartments, I would say probably every 6 to 8 months he had a different dude. And you know the level of mental every single dude came through that house, the kids were calling him dad. And the boy, I think he suffered the most because she had two younger daughters. Then she had an older daughter. The older daughter would come at the mom and would tell her, you know, let me get my sisters. Let me get my brother. I take care of them. She like, nah, these my kids. And it was to the point where, man, it was rough just seeing that. I would always talk to the little boy, and I would tell him, he was cool with my son, and he would go through these little trips with his mom, and he'll be talking about him, and come over my house sometime, play with my son on the game and stuff. And the only thing I could do is just give him little bits and pieces of information, be like, hey man, hey, you got to figure out what you're gonna do when you get older, man. Go to college, go to the military. Dude ended up soon as he got out of high school, man. I think he took that ass back test and signed the papers probably junior year. Like he was gone, went to the Navy, straight out. I'm talking about. Soon as he graduated, he was trying to get on the next class, smoking to get up out of there. And like that was the environment he was in. Like a lot of people look at situations like that and be like, man, ain't nothing you could do. You can't really help that situation, man. You can't do this and can't do that. But I mean, it's crazy. Okay, let me see what goes. I mean, yeah, the average man is wired to take care of their family, but you got to understand the structure on a man has been evolving and changing over the years. Like I said, my thing of it was I can't deal with the woman if I can't deal with the child. Because I mean, I'm not gonna knock it. There was situations where I dealt with a woman. Kids were bad. I stopped dealing with that chick. I ain't want no parts of them bad kids. They weren't even listening to the bare minimum that I was talking to them about. So I already knew if that relationship further along, man, them kids, the older they got, they was gonna reject me. And she had two boys, young boy, and I didn't even know she had an older son. Like I think the chick had a kid when she was ooh, probably 12 or 13 or something. I didn't even know nothing about that kid. I just knew she had two young kids, a boy and a girl. I found out later on down the line after me and her weren't kicking it no more that she had an older child. I'm like, bruh, what's going on? And that would kind of gave me a bad taste in my mouth about dealing with chick with kids. I'm like, how you gonna hide a whole child? Like it was crazy, you know. Even the chicks I dealt with without kids, they will pump fake. They will do crazy stuff. They would always talk about it. They had kids, what they gonna do. But I see the way you move. You know what I'm saying? You might go have your little niece and nephew around, and then you act crazy. Nah, I done seen chicks yelling to the top of their lungs because a child didn't do something, and that wasn't even their child. That was like a niece and nephew, cousin, something like that. I'm like, nah, you ain't the one. Like I really did want kids. So I was looking for women that actually potentially could take care of a child, you know, and do have this course of conversation to us working on building our child to the greatest form. Like I'm so happy my two older kids, they both went to college, still in the process of graduating. My daughter, she just might. I think she got one more year. My son, he got like a year and a half or so. But they so focused on making money right now and online classes. They just considering on when to going back. My two younger kids, I'm steady enforcing and building on them. You know, like I was saying earlier, my son's got dirt bikes, four wheelers. Dude, I barely could get a bike. And when I really got a bike, man, I was trying to ride that thing everywhere, jumping. I literally probably went through the first year of that bike. I went through two rims and about three or four tires. It got to the point where I was busting tires. And when we go somewhere, I used to take my little pocket change I had from when I was working with my granddad, had his own shop. I go work with him to get me some money just to give me some more inner tubes. So I was jumping off of things. Me and my brothers we were going crazy on them bikes. I jumped off this ramp at the park. Everybody hit the ramp, and it's a dip down at the bottom, so you got to pull before the dip. I didn't pull for the dip. Face plant straight into mulch, boom, at the park. Rim bent. I had to walk home because I couldn't ride my bike. So I literally had to walk home with a bent rim and kind of sliding the bike because every time it hit the side of the rail, it grinds, and I had to, keep shoving it when it get to that point. Everybody was laughing at me. I was embarrassed. But like I said, it was crazy though. My sons, man, they got dirt bikes. They got four wheelers. You know what I'm saying? I got one of my sons. He be crabbing at me because he want more pair of Jordans. I was like, I literally got my first pair of Jordans probably when I turned 18. But when I was working, hold on, did I pair with Jordans when I was working? No, when I was working, man, I never bought Jordans. I never bought Jordans. I would always stick to the regular felines, bought Nikes. I bought some what was it? I think AIs, but it's just like basic common shoes. Really didn't even have my sights on Jordans. I was just buying common shoes to go along with my outfits, and I was getting stocked up on nice clothes. When I got out of high school, that's when I started really buying Jordans. But then, like I say, my son do want Jordans. He like I go buy his clothes, all kind of all name brand. You know what I'm saying? Every now and then he might get some stuff that ain't name brand because it look nice. You know, I got him a lot of Under Armour stuff, to collar shirts and stuff. Tell him you gotta look a little presentable. You can't wear t-shirts all the time. Give him a lot of nice looking shorts and everything. My wife, we know he like one of my sons like I call him name brand killer. So he get Adidas, he get all these different, Adidas outfits, but I think he's like Champ, so I bought him a whole bunch of Champ shirts, Champ shorts, Champ shoes, matching up on all the colors, everything. Don't you know when I was young, I ain't even get that privilege to dude, you got what, five pair, probably three or four pair of pants, you know, and then along the lines, you had what was it? Three or four, like five different, I would say five pair of pants, five pair of shorts. I stayed with my grandma, she was old fashioned. Me and my brother was around the same size. So the crazy part was we used to sit there and get like alternate on colors because we can wear the same size. Then if our clothes were good, we'll pass it down to our younger brother that was 2 years younger than us. And so that's how he was able to maintain, have more clothes than us. He was looking a little more fresher than us. And my older brother would come along every now and then. If he wasn't, locked up with nothing crazy, he would come through, smash up with some, fly kicks. You know what I'm saying? About $100 in our pocket, because he was out there. And then he would, what I'm saying, go take us school shopping or something like that. And hey man, like I mean, like the thing of it was, Dr. Dunbar, I only bought these Jordans because, like, for one, like I said, I always wanted a pair of Jordans, but I never really got them through school. The money situation, it was literally crazy. But like I said, it was to the point where I just seen these one pair of shoes I wanted and I got them. And actually, I probably never owned over probably 8 pair. I had a couple pair that was nice because, like I said, I bought shoes and everything according to my outfits, stuff like that. So, but Jordans, they was cool, and people, it was the thing, like the throwback ones. I bought them because I liked the way they looked, and it gave a little, it was a style piece. Because, like I said, I was into fashion and everything, but for me to just be trying to go buy all the Jordans, that was never it. Even when I had the money, I contemplated, my budget. I said, well, do I want to spend 150, $180 on a pair of Jordans, or I can go buy two pair of shoes and some clothes and still spend that 180, or just buy one pair of shoes and a whole bunch of clothes. So to me, Jordans wasn't budget friendly when I was young because I was buying my own clothes. I've been buying my own clothes ever since 15. Ever since 15, when I got my first job, I started buying my own clothes. Then I kind of seen the structure in which, parents would always, hinder about spending so much money on clothes. Because in the end, spending all that money on clothes, man, that's like, nah, I do that for my kids. When I was young, like I said, man, that was not even an option. That's why I said like the struggle right now for like even for your child right now in this day and time to look good, buying them clothes and stuff like that, buying them shoes, you kind of pushing them into society to fit in, but at the same time, you knew the structure in which you was in school and the way people treated you. You don't want that same effect to happen on your kids. So you do a little more, push a little more to, have them more comfortable. Like I said, I got a bike, pair of skates. My kids, they got four wheelers, dirt bikes, um, shoot, clothes galore. Man, my son, he got a pair of LeBrons. He didn't like the colors, so that's why he didn't wear them until I told him they were LeBrons. Because they got like the style of like the Kentakoff flake look on there in the backside. But they got the straps on there. I mean, nice shoes. Only reason I grabbed them because I'm like, man, this is something I wear. You know what I'm saying? Cool. They was on sale. Got them. Son looking at me like, ah, man, them kind of rough. But then when people start liking them, oh, he rocking them and he like them now. I'm like, what happened? I thought they were ugly. Nah, they straight. I'm like, see, yeah, I don't know. But that's why I used to tell my oldest son and daughter when I used to go get them clothes. And I used to be like, I ain't no old dude, man. I'm not that far off from, like the clothes and everything else. So I got an eye for that, and so that's why I was, saying when it come down to it, I would dress them and show them like this is style, this is way, then they came up with their own flavor. But having that big, style and thing and structure is key. A lot of people they fall off with that. And like I said, dealing with kids, man, that pressure, you coming from that bad environment, trying to make it, cause guys on what's the crew season was talking about, being first in your family to graduate from college. Spite the situation that your dad or your mom are going through. I seen a lot of people go through that. Making some of yourself spite the generation curse that's been placed on your family. You know what I'm saying? That um when I was young, my thing of it was I literally thought like I told you I had to change my mindset when I came to Georgia and stayed with my family from the West Coast. I literally thought that I was gonna die around my 18, 19 years old. I mean, it was shocking, like to come down here and no, I ain't gotta be no game banger. I could do some potential with my life to, go to college if I want to, start a business. I ain't gotta be like the men say for the street. I ain't gotta be for the streets. But it was crazy, man. Like that mindset, man. I'm telling you, like you sit here and your environment pretty much consumed. Like everybody knew about that whole thing in Cali back in the day where the kids couldn't make it to 18 because of the gang banging. That stuff was all over rampant all over that way. And that's why I said it was considerable for me to say the same thing that, that I was gonna be that way because I grew up in that area. And I always talk about society standards, but that's the thing. That was the standard that was put on the society over there for all the kids. That gang bang. That was the culture, and making it to your 16th birthday was a blessing. I mean, that was literally the culture over there. Okay, but doing that, it was something weird for me to, what I'm saying, looking at the point. I'm like, man, I want kids. And I told my wife, me and my wife was talking, because we had like little conversations, and she was saying like when she turned 18, her mom and her dad divorced, and she said she was kind of lost, and that kind of spiraled her. She didn't, you know, she wasn't blaming them, but to a point, she was just saying like for her and her structure, she kind of felt lost herself to a point where she kind of started wilding out and really wasn't staying the course in which she was given a talk, and it put her in a situation of having a kid out of wedlock, granddad looking at her shameful of her, and stayed with the guy, had another one, and eventually just can't get right, then moved on. And you know we were having that talk, and like I told her, my thing of it was I could have, because she was laughing. It was funny. She was like, "You ain't got no kids," like, well, why not? And we were just going through the motions, and I told her, like my thing of it was I seen my uncle get a divorce, and my aunt dragged him. I seen my other uncle, had a kid out of wedlock. I mean, out of wedlock and not be married and get drugged. So my thing of it was the odds it's not really even, but to a point where if I get a kid, at least I want to be married. That's that's first and foremost. And then secondly, I want to have some type of structure for my kid, a family structure to the point where that child won't be like, man, why y'all didn't get it together before y'all had me? Like, I'm coming into a bad environment. Nobody cares about me. Nobody, really is there for me. Y'all ain't got no plan. Y'all ain't got no savings. You ain't got no house. You ain't got no 401k. You ain't got no life insurance. You ain't got nothing structured to, give me a leg up. Let alone, you got people. Um, God was saying that he thought that life was what it was until he started going around other kids that were driving to school, with nice cars, that was getting everything that they. I mean, I know a kid in elementary school, dude got everything he wanted, everything. Anytime the Jordans came out, he got it. Any name brand clothes, he had it. You know, gold chain, rings, earrings. I mean, just studded earrings, real. Everybody's walking around with the fake joints. You go get them, you know, what was the story about? The little corner store earrings, you know what I'm saying? A carat and a half in the ear. His junk was shining, real diamonds. Real diamonds. And I'm like, dang, that's crazy. Talking about nice necklace. I remember my homeboy, I remember when we was in high school. Dude got his herringbone snatched. That wasn't even his herringbone, that was his auntie herringbone. Auntie gave him the herringbone, let him rock it, and somebody snatched his herringbone. And like dudes, I'm surprised they ain't kicking for his shoes. He had a pair of Jordans on, nice little fit on. He's walking with his cousin them. Dude just ran up on him like, "Hey man, give me that chain." He like, "No," just snatched it. Back in the day, you used to have them hair bones. He snatched the chain, and then somehow they iron that mother back together, whatever. And you knew somebody done snatched chain because you see the little wrinkles in the herringbone. But hey, got a real nice gold chain. You could melt it down if you wanted to, make it into something else, but that costs money too. But man, it's like getting your kids out of that environment. I remember I was talking to my wife and I was telling her, I was like, man, my kids won't survive. I mean, my oldest son, I took him off my auntie house and he went to go play football outside. And my little cousin bought that. That he crazy with it. That's why he's serving his vacation time now. But my little cousin say, "Why you act like that?" I said, "What you talking about? He not he not really he not really cool. Trying to be nice the way he was talking to me." So I'm laughing. I know what he want to say. I'm like, "What you trying to say here, nerd?" He like, "Yeah, a little bit, but." I'm like, bro, everybody ain't hood, man. Everybody ain't live or, been around certain things. I said, what I had you around and, you know, cause you was already in that environment. I was in that environment. My kids not in that environment. So my kids ain't got no type of, you know, knowledge about this stuff. He like, man, he just different. And so his mom was like, what? He can't be different. And like, yeah. And so he just ran back out and played football. Fast forward, some years now, like different is good. You know, son with the college, doing good for himself, job and everything. As far as my cousin, like I say, he on vacation right now. So different is good. Like I say, moving, putting your kids in different school system, trying to give your kids a better life than what you had. A lot of people don't know the pressure of that, man. It's structure behind that too. It's a lot of structure behind it, and in which a lot of people fail to realize about that structure. It take work, it take money, it take a lot of work, and it take a lot of money. A lot of people fail on life because they so focused on the situation at hand, trying to keep up with the Joneses. Yeah, I get my kids nice stuff, but at the same time, I make them work for it. Like I told you, kids want to do it right, man. I had to go get a tutor. Had them when they were young. Uh, I had them in a preschool while the other people were paying to send their kids to a private school for Head Start. I'm like, yeah, put them in the free one. I'm like, put them in the free one. Put them in the free. I didn't know. I'm thinking like, they gonna teach the kids. Everything we was teaching them at home, they was only just restructuring. Like, okay, learn ABCs, learn your one, two, threes, learn your colors. I'm like, they know this stuff, you know. So when they graduated, they go to kindergarten like all the other kids, from pre-K to kindergarten. I go to the school one day. They got my boys over here, they doing sight words. It's probably about, I think, 25% of the class over here doing sight words and refreshing ABCs and stuff. Then you got the 75% on this side They reading books. So I'm like, whoa, what happened? What's this? And the lady was like, well, your kids can, read little words here and there, but they didn't get this in pre-K. And I'm like, well, what's the difference? They was like, well, she pointed out all these kids over here went to the private school at the church and they taught them how to read. They taught them their colors. They taught them how to count to 100. I remember distinctively them learning how to count to 10 before they went into pre-K. I think they got them to count to 25 or 30 maybe in pre-K. Because I never really refreshed that about, you know, how far they got to count. So going into first grade, once knowing all this, getting ready to go into first grade, they went out, got tutors for them. Got tutors for them. Had took them to this one lady, she came well recommended that, she taught her pre-K class and everything. And first grade class was reading Harry Potter books. I'm like, okay. So I had them going to her every single weekend. Every single, like, then it got to the point where I said, man, they're not reading good enough. I started doing it 2 times a week. And I'm still buying toys, rewarding them because they know how to read and do this. Man, my homeboy came up with this and it was funny. When they were young, I did this with my kids. I would take them to the dollar store every weekend before they really knew what toys was. I was getting them $10 worth of toys from the dollar store every weekend. Good behavior. Get 10 toys. What kid didn't love that? Till they got older, then I started spending more money. But the whole structure of it was I was getting them prepared to where if you do good, you get rewarded. And, like that's the mentality. I was pushed to that, but when I did good, the reward it wasn't as big as, the value of the stuff that I did. But I still had to maintain that even if nobody's gonna give me a prize for doing good, I still had to do good, you know. So me pushing it to my kids to be better, I had to start spending more money, not on just toys and stuff, on their education. Like I said in my last video, my kids are out for the summer. They got summer books that I bought them. They gotta do 4 pages a day. One of my kids is finna go to what's called a magnet program. It just magnet programs, people don't know, like in Georgia they call them, where a child, that excels in certain areas can go to a different school district to get a better outcome with their education. And hoping that both of my kids go there. But I know as of right now, I think only one of them might be going. And that's the thing, Sometimes it works like that, you know. So when it comes down to it, man, it's it's a hard thing to structure with your kids and kind of put things within their place because you gotta kind of balance the tide far as from you and your family and how you want your kids life and structure to be. you know the area, I always tell those people who move around, who look for houses, you move for your kids. Because I told you the thing, when my kids got into high school, the high school's indicator was rough. I moved all the way out to Snellville. Snellville was good, but you had to pay for everything out there for elementary. Decatur, they had better programs, so I moved back to Decatur. Now that my kids are getting on up, they finna go into middle school, and I'm looking to see the middle schools now. what's going to be suitable for them, you know. And I already know I'm not staying in Decatur like a long time, but this time I'm keeping the house and I'm just gonna rent it out. We're gonna move somewhere else, especially for high school. You know, better scholarships, better academics, all comes from certain areas, certain schools. I know one of my friends, his son played football out in Grayson. Well, he stayed in Snellville, but he moved to Grayson, near their high school and Arch. I think no, it was Archer High School out in Grayson area. Archer has one of the good programs in football down here. So he moved over there just for the area, just for his son to go to that school, so he can get a better scholarship, better opportunity to be picked going into a D1 school. You know, so why not put your kid in a position to win and be better in life? You know, when it come down to it, a lot of people, we have these talks and we laugh and like I say, we joke about it. But in the end, when it really gets serious, who's taking on that initiative to, kind of put their kids in a better situation? Like I said, all the guys and the women on, YouTube and the panels I go on, we might laugh, joke, sometimes get serious and go at each other. But in the end, I keep saying, I want you to win. Because if you win, your kid's gonna win. You're gonna put that on them to win, you know? And that be the biggest thing that we're failing and lagging behind in that, structure for our kids. Because that's like the biggest thing. The structure for our kids is gonna determine whether we, you know, make our kids successful. You know, a lot of parents, if a child is not good in school, we kind of push them towards the military to, if anything, they always have some type of structure and to the school to be paid for through the military. One of my wife's brothers, he went to the military. Um, End up getting he just got his master's this when they had the graduation party for all the kids and the adults, he ended up getting his master's in communication and business. So he's off to North Carolina in a couple of weeks. He's gonna be working up there at some banks, something else he said. But you know hey, good, good for him. The cousin, she's in Texas. She graduated PhD, um, to be a doctor. Great for her. You know, their parents fought and sacrificed. I mean, honestly speaking, even with her brother, that was all sheer him. You know, nobody was basically pushing him. His sister, which is my wife, she talked to him, and his older sister, talked to him and told him keep going. His dad went on his head like that. His mom wasn't pushing him like that. When you turn 18, man, you ain't got nobody to encourage you like that no more. You got to put in the work yourself. You know, you got some parents that still go that extra mile, that extra mile. You know, you still got some parents that got to put in that 9 to 5 all the time with their kids. You know, you got kids that just perfect, man. They play the role, they do everything what's required of them, no mishaps. Can't blame them. The best child ever. But then you got some, man, just need that extra help. Like, who gonna be there to help that child? You know, pitfalls. Um, what was that? Shirley Caesar. She had, had a song. I think I was it. I won't complain, but it was a song that she had that basically talked about a man who, you know, the mom was, scrubbing floors and being a janitor cleaning for her son to go to school to become a doctor, while the other son, bad, in and out of jail, doing wrong. And the son that became a doctor sit there and, you know, got to a point where he had his mom come stay with him. And, he had married this woman, and woman, spoke well, educated, went to college too. And she didn't like how the mom was talking around the kids using broken language, not really ain'ts and fistas and stuff. And she wanted to teach her kids proper English. So he wanted to put his mom in a nursing home, to the point where the son, who really didn't do nothing for himself, you know, bad, in and out of jail, was like, "Mom, you ain't going to the nursing home. Come stay with me." And it just basically depending on the structure in which you do things and for your kids. That be the biggest issue. We put so much faith in all that in one child and not the other. My wife, she gets on me because she said I treat one of my boys different than the other, and I get on him more because I see that potential in him to go left every single time. I'm always on his head. He can't breathe. I tell my wife, I don't care what you say. I'm his dad. I'm gonna push him, and I'm gonna do whatever it takes for him to be better. I'm not gonna let him settle. I'm not, because I know he got potential to be better. The boy get lazy sometimes. That's when in and everybody get lazy sometimes. But to a point where I know you're not doing the best, I'm gonna always push you to do the best and be the best. That's my whole job, is to see my kids succeed in life. Even with that being said, with the structure, you know, I drive trucks. And people always know I always, chop it up talking about Alonzo. And I'm gonna go ahead and drop in a few with this. But when it come down to it, like literally, I tell people about with Alonzo, man, I could literally die right now and my kids will be well taken care of. Why? Because I don't put in the work. That's my thing. I literally put in the work for my kids to be good. And why did I put in the work? So they're gonna have to put in some work, but I'm gonna make life for them a little bit easier. That's like the biggest structure for me, is to help my wife, help the kids or whatever, you know, potential for them to make life a little bit easier. Life already hard. So what we really doing to, garner our kids to have a better life, better future, man, we got to put in the work. Let's see. Yeah. And like I was saying with dealing with Alonzo, man. Oh shoot, I forgot. Yeah, let's see where you at. Right there. Yeah, but dealing with Alonzo, I say with him and the structure in which I talk about with Alonzo all the time, a lot of people don't understand, man. It's, hey, like that one day you here and the next day you gone thing. I could be here, next day I'm gone. Let's see, what is it? Actually trying to get something together right quick. Yeah, but it's like I could be here and the next day I'm gone. You know, a lot of people don't have nothing in play for their kids to where, like I say, that life insurance policy I got, if anything ever happened to me, man, my wife ain't got nothing to worry about. Like I said, the whole thing with a lot of situations to where dudes to sit here and you the best father, you this and you that. What structure you got for your kids to where if anything happened to you, you know, your wife, she ain't gotta go get her a new man. She ain't gotta belong to the streets. And it's like I be saying, man, when it come down to it, I don't want my kids to suffer. I don't want my wife to suffer. It's certain things that we do as men or, all right, there we go, we back. Yeah, but it's to the point where you don't want to see your kids fail in life. So you set things up for them to be okay. And that's the main thing that I talk about with life insurance. To the point where if anything happens, my kid's good. Add to the tree. Okay. Keep that one. Turn down the volume. All right. I might have to work something else. Just took myself back off. All right, there we go. All right, so I want to share a video. So let me go ahead and slide over here to YouTube. As I want to share this video about Alonzo, the all-star advisor. And it's mainly talking about like structuring things, as far as your life insurance, just yourself. Echo. But like I said, my whole thing is basically for the kids, man, and trying to have some structure for them. Cause like I said, it gets hard. Who putting things aside for the kids so they can survive? Who are putting things into play so your kids uh be better for the next generation, have a leg up? you know and it's literally hard, man, like day by day. All right, I'm gonna find this video. I had to get ready to pull out anyway. Man, this microphone pick on everything. You hear my pants rubbing. My arm rubbing against my pants. Okay. That one. Alright. Go back to StreamYard. Go share. Put it up there. Yep. Hello, be the difference. Clothing. Okay. That's okay. Share screen. Audio. YouTube. Get this last little bit before I actually close out. Doing a lot of buffering. See if I can close some of these tabs out. Is it the connection? Love, y'all still got school out there? Y'all summer break must come a little later.
Yo. It's
Okay, there we go.
your boy, the insurance junkie, your fiduciary fella, the all-star advisor Alonzo Hall, and I've returned today with another ADH Wealth solution. Today, we'll begin to discuss fulfilling all of your financial needs. To contribute to channel growth, the links are in the description. To schedule an appointment of your own or to purchase life insurance directly up to $1 million with no medical exam and an instant decision, my information is in the description. Lastly, make sure you hit that like, drop a comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you're made aware every time I release new content. And as always, share. And now, here's our next feature. Salute, folks. It's your boy, the insurance junkie, your fiduciary fella, the all-star advisor Alonzo Hall, and I've returned today to whap and tap on your head with another ADH Wealth solution. Today, I want to talk about retirement planning and some of the stages that it happens in. But before I go in, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you hit the like, drop a comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you're made aware every time I release new content. And as always, share. Lastly, to contribute to channel growth or to schedule a one-on-one appointment with a licensed financial professional, the links are in the description. So as we proceed to give you what you need, when it comes to retirement, it pays to start now, wherever you are in your life cycle. I'll go deeper into that in a minute. But in terms of retirement savings, younger people are usually concerned with, what's in front of their faces today. And so they tend to fail to build any kind of a substantial savings. And as people age, they get more responsibilities like mortgages. But over time, the expectation is the pattern for expenses to taper off and savings to increase. Now, in order for expenses to taper and savings to increase, you have to plan for each stage of life. So, let's take a look at those stages. First, you've got ages 20 to 25. And here, with 40 years until retirement, you're thinking of living life today. You should be at a point where you're increasing, or at least looking at increasing your disposable income. Now, next, we've got 26 to 30. So you've got 35 years to go. You might focus on marital decisions, employment options, and having kids. So retirement, it's probably not high on your radar right now. So the next phase is going to be 31 to 35. You're down to 30 years on the clock, and people still assume they have lots of time left to plan. So most people here are still mainly focused on things like buying that home or multiple homes and raising a family. Most of those responsibilities are gonna consume most of the family's available resources. So now next we have 36 to 40 and 25 years until retirement. So most people are still at a point where things like family obligations like paying for college are still a little seemingly more pressing than saving for retirement. So now we move on to ages 41 and 45, 20 years until we cross that threshold. And it's likely most people are still dealing with the expenses of things like paying for college, buying cars for the kids, paying insurance premiums for themselves, their kids, and hey, sometimes even paying insurance premiums for their parents and other major expenses and the pressure of keeping up with the Joneses, right? So, in keeping appearances with your peers, people tend to show their statuses with the newest house, the newest cars, the newest clothes. All of which are doing what? Guess what? Taking away from the abundance to save for your retirement. So now finally you've got ages 46 to 50, 15 years left, and many people finally begin to think about retirement for the first time. The kids are finally out of the house and they're out of college, and now people tend to have more money available than ever before. So at this point, you would think saving for retirement would be a slam dunk. However, unexpected emergencies can derail any planning for retirement at any stage in life, but it's especially difficult at this point in your life. And it's not uncommon for a person at this stage in life to go through a multitude of different things like divorce, widowhood, unemployment, or the double surprise of their kids and their parents coming back into their household. So people in this group are usually called the sandwich generation. And why are they the sandwich generation? Because they have to care for both their parents and care for their children as dependents. So these phases can be made easier to be absorbed by looking at it as your early career or your 20s and 30s, your mid career, your 40s and 50s, and your late career is the late 50s and 60s. Now, that's going to be it for today, folks. So make sure you hit that like, drop a comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you're made aware every time I release new content. And as always, share, share, share. With that being said, wipe ass. Work in progress every day and see success. Salute. Hey folks, this last video was sponsored by my company, where we help people like you
All right, and that's it. You know, coming down to the stretch. Let's go ahead and stop sharing. Like I said, man, you know, being motivated to share things for people. See, I'm getting in. Okay, there we go. Just make sure y'all can hear me. But when it come down to it, the biggest motivation is, like I said, for the kids. And shout out to Alonzo. For those who don't know, go ahead to his channel and check him out. And go ahead and share this so y'all can see Alonzo's channel. Yeah, yeah, yeah. There we go. And like I say, man, hey, financial tips always a plus, man. Being educated, knowing your options, and with that also, Alonzo can help you with your financial goals and decisions. Like I said, do your research. I've talked to him. Like I said, I have insurance with him. You know, and it's a good thing. For us to know the structure of our life and what's our next step, what is our next goal, you know, how are we planning for the kids, how are we, just basically like he was just going through the structures of planning for the future, retirement. And I keep throwing this nugget out there. Alonzo said he's gonna do a luncheon, so hopefully a lot of y'all come in and go to the next luncheon he has. And talking about life insurance being better than the 401k. So next week, if anybody seen the preview video that I did last night, I'm going to be going over 401k versus an IRA, and what is the difference and what are your options. Next week is going to be more financial, getting into retirement. So this might be one of my breakout videos that I'm going to replay over next week. I'm gonna be talking about everything, dealing with retirement, what is going to be your options, people who want to invest. They got crowdfunding sites where you can invest in property as little as $100. Jeff Bezos, like I said, I just found out about Jeff Bezos having a crowdfunding site to where he's selling, I think it's 10 shares into properties for $100, which you might think, oh, that's a good deal. But you got to understand, there are people who are coming in, putting in $50,000 or, what I'm saying, so much on a share, and you get that percentage of that house, which might be, 30, $40, with $100. Well, not 30, 40, I would say like 5,000, probably 5,000 probably get you $50 a month or something like that. But then when they sell the house, depending on the shares, you get a percentage. Your 5,000 then turns into, 75, or your 5,000 might turn into 50. So, like I said, just looking at the different options, man, because we need to understand that, we're getting older. I'm getting older. I'm not even going to put that on all the people that, that live their best life and they want to be young forever. Me and my wife, we struggle with that all the time. I tell her she's getting old. She don't believe it. But I tell her, we're getting old. So getting old and older, you have to develop a conscience to the point where things are going to be in play, whether you like it or not. You're going to have to start setting money aside for retirement. You're going to have to start setting money aside for these trips and vacations you want to take. I was just talking to an older gentleman. He has some rental properties over in St. Thomas, and I was doing some work for him. He told me, like, yeah, man, I'm about to come back to America, to my house, stay there for like a day or so, and I'm going to Barcelona, Spain, for a whole week just for vacation. The guy lives in St. Thomas now. That is his vacation. He don't work really no more. He has a little immediate job that he structures, but to the point, basically, don't even really work. He has the the houses in St. Thomas as Airbnbs, I think, that, structures him to, not even work. I mean, that's great. But yeah, like I said, I'm about to get ready to jump off of here. But stay tuned. Like I said, look to next week. We're gonna start doing a breakdown of some retirements plans and getting people ready for the next step. Like I say always, till next time, we here. And like always, we gone.